Carla Pig is completely devoted to the Mossad and doesn't want to accept her personal, as a person, torturing little infants and children. She wants to say she did it for a government cause, but if you know your government is immoral and you follow them anyway, you're responsible. Of course. Well, I'm sure there is when he realized that's just a human being that he said he had no argument with. Okay. I'm gonna send this off to you.
Well, how about a third hour of Good Morning America in the afternoon?
GMA 3, what you need to know. Lunchtime at 1 Eastern, 12 Central and Pacific on ABC. It's all about you.
So Carla Pig and the Mossad targeted Vanessa Redgrave, and they targeted Hillary Clinton because both of them spoke in favor of Palestine. I know Hillary Clinton specifically spoke of her belief that Palestine should become a state so that it had, formalized political power. I have no way of knowing it's possible. The Palestinian people could be, fine people and have corrupt leaders. I really don't know. I read that before Nazi Germany and all, the Israelis lived with the Palestinians completely peacefully. They had no problem with each other's religions or anything. They lived peacefully in the same land area.
Washington County Attorney now saying former officer Kim Potter is now being charged with second-degree manslaughter for shooting and killing Wright during a traffic stop.
Right, WRIGHT was the victim in the shooting. Potter is the last name of the female officer that shot him.
Derek Chauvin is facing down in Minneapolis, but he's also facing several other charges. So what sets this apart?
I think there's just no question that this is a matter that calls for justice, calls for a charge. You have a police chief who has also now resigned, who said this was an accident.
I'm not in the mind of the officer. I can only see what you're all seeing. I can couple that with some of the training much of the training that I've received, and that's why I'm believing it's being acted under.
And an accident, that word, it feels like it is evading responsibility. And so I think when a prosecutor looks at a case like this, and it's a matter that was captured on camera, I think it's clear that a prosecutor would determine that it's a case that is provable, because that is what a prosecutor is looking to do. A prosecutor wants to be able to prove a case beyond a reasonable doubt. It's a really, really high standard. And so when I look at this and I look at the body camera video, I do see second-degree manslaughter, because the standard for that is a prosecutor has to prove culpable negligence to convict. And culpable negligence really is
I don't care about either of you.
plus reckless behavior that created an unreasonable risk of death.
I caution everybody as you watch this that this will be graphic and unedited. You have that video start.
Only Satanists love and worship people who torture them and hurt them as children. And hate people like Paul Geishan and me, who are peace-loving people trying to live a life,
I shot him. You have the admission right on video.
Whatever.
That is textbook second-degree manslaughter.
And manslaughter then instead of murder, where then you start talking about intent.
Yeah, I mean, first-degree murder, second-degree murder, those are intentional crimes. You have to be able to prove what was going on in the person's mind. When you look at the circumstances surrounding this tragedy, you have an officer, a former officer, that is saying, taser, 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 and then saying, oh my goodness, I shot him, as if she were surprised at that. That would be a very difficult murder case to prove.
Well, so as we see what's happening in this case, and it's now a criminal case, along with that case against Derek Chauvin in Minneapolis, the death of George Floyd, do you think that prosecutors are seeing cases against members of the police force differently now? Like, do you see a change in how they have approached this over the last several years?
You know, I
I
do.
know she's from The View.
There is new unrest to report tonight in Ferguson,
can't
Missouri,
tell.
after the release of new surveillance video
Georgia.
showing Michael Brown
Sounds
the
like
day he was fatally shot by Officer Darren Wilson back in
I think when we look back to 20 years ago, I think when we look back 10 years ago, we had these cases, again, of course, coming up.
I
We
think
had
that's
these
it.
issues coming up in the black community, but these cases were typically not brought.
At 8:25, McCullough finally said the words to the world. No charges. Less than an hour later, the fires were burning the city.
I think that there have been changes structurally so that we now do see some of these cases brought. For example, in this particular case, this happened in Brooklyn Center. Now that's in Hennepin County. This case is being handled by Washington County. Now those 5 counties make up the Twin Cities, but the region agreed last year to refer cases involving police use of deadly force to
Tino
other
says his
counties in
ability to
Washington.
create universes has been decreased during this process.
last year, thinking like if this sort of George Floyd moment happens in the future.
Yes,
here's-
and that is really important. That is systemic change.
In less than a week, the district attorney
I guess they're just little hillbilly
that we will charge
opportunists.
this officer, and the family of Dante Wright will get to have their day in court. So we say justice for Dante Wright.
And I think that that is a result of the acknowledgement now that we have systemic racism problems.
Satanists
that
all
exist in
say
black and brown communities,
that
and
they
those
only wish they
problems
did
are being addressed.
real harm, as much harm as possible, permanent harm, especially to Paul Goshen and me. God and me.
Today on Capitol Hill, the Inspector General for the Capitol Police Force will testify to Congress on whether
I had no
the
idea
steps
God was on
how the
Earth.
building was defended back on January
Well, what do you
6th.
think?
His answer is expected to be yes. There were lots
To me,
of
he's
steps.
God.
Tonight, a new Inspector General report
He wasn't,
just 3 days before the attack.
what you call
Capitol
it?
Police intelligence analysts wrote that Congress itself is the target, and that the Stop the Steal movement have the likelihood of attracting white supremacists,
I'm gonna
militias,
upload this.
and others who actively
Inside.
promote violence.
This report has already
I'm gonna
been
stop
released
recording and
internally,
upload
but
this.